Can you describe what challenges you have in your organization?
We have so many microservices which customers at that point before the adoption would talk to individually. And we want to give that idea of a whole platform. And that's where we already looked at a competitor a few years. What really triggered us is that we made a SaaS platform where customers could subscribe and on demand get their own environment. And we want to have them have that fresh experience, that really unified idea of this is a platform I'm subscribing to, this is the API to which I will talk for any type of action.
Why did you pick Solo?
We looked at some competitors who maybe had their own kind of proxy underneath, just went through the motion of fulfilling all our requirements and came up with Solo as actually the only one truly fulfilling all our requirements, which were not little. To give an idea, we have this whole array of microservices, which are multi-tenants. And we have single tenant information passing through that. There weren't any, that maybe today is different, the landscape, but at that point there weren't any competitors that were able to provide us information of one tenant talking to a multi-tenant component. And with a bit of complex routing, we could actually say, okay, this tenant is performing this action, could do rate limiting, could get information from that. So that was a big part of Solo. We did an early adoption of an Envoy-based proxy, but noticed that architecturally there were some choices made where I read articles from, I believe, your CTO, and those were great articles, very concise, to the point, saying, okay, we made those architectural decisions, which for me felt like I can understand this, although I'm not an expert of Envoy, and otherwise we would have built it ourselves. We understood the expert level that was put forward in these articles, and that was the first step that put Solo on the list, and Glue in particular. Documentation was very concise, and that's also something we felt with going through our list of requirements, that how quickly do we get to that point of fulfilling that list. Biggest reason for us that we adopted Solo is because we set some requirements for ourselves. And with these requirements in mind, we looked at Envoy-based proxies or gateways. I mentioned that also to the people I'm in contact at Solo, that what triggered us is, and why Solo was from the start actually already a step ahead.
How's the experience with Solo so far?
Once we made that adoption, it continued. It was not, let's say, the money is in the bank and we didn't hear from you. It was a constant motion, which is still ongoing. And if we ever have a question, we can open up any of these channels and get some feedback, jump on a call. And that was very useful for us. I would say keep doing what you are doing. I'm looking forward also to the future. We talked already that we wanted to adopt or look into service mesh and the advantages of service mesh. We're currently really focused on the Edge API gateway, but we're also looking into eBPF, Istio, and in that story, I already feel that Solo will bring us again some answers to questions we have. So that's always nice.